Coast, where the British High Commissioner alongside other senior officials from the police service are presiding over the anti-terror police unit ceremony. Right now it is the DCI George Kinoti who is currently speaking. Let's just cross over and listen in.
And with due diligence and expectant of us, then by our constitution and fidelity to the law. I thank those whose goodwill and endless support at whichever level remain with us, those who appreciate our efforts in execution of our duties. We say thank you. I do not forget those who pose positive criticism to us. It is good because it assists us to retreat and correct, and we make amends where perhaps we may have made a mistake or where we may need to improve. We take note of it, and we shall always appreciate, and we shall act well. May we always remember that in the great country, this is a great country that God has given to us, and even so it is great responsibility that He has given to us, to each and every one of us, to safeguard it and protect it for the good of our country and the citizens. Let us therefore join hands in the fight against anything that works against us. Let us identify who and what our enemy is, and together walk the road of peaceful, triumphant country, Kenya, our motherland. Thank you. Thank you. So, maybe
Thank you very much, the Director of Criminal Investigations, Director of Public Prosecutions, Head of the ATPU, and to all the officers present and my colleagues from the British Government. The United Kingdom is very proud to support the building of this new headquarters for the Anti-Terrorism Police Unit here in Mombasa. We have seen, tragically, in recent months and years that terrorism menaces us all. It has struck us in the United Kingdom, it has struck us here in Kenya with the loss of many Kenyan and indeed British lives, and it has struck us recently and tragically in Sri Lanka and in so many other places around the world. And we know this is a threat which ignores borders, a threat which requires international cooperation and the sharing of intelligence in order to combat. So our partnership with the Kenyan Republic in combating terrorism is one of the most important missions that my government has in this country. And it is our determination to support the Kenyan security forces in their work against terrorism, and to ensure also that they can do that work in a way, as the DCI has said, that is in accordance with the law, that respects the right procedures, that ensures that terrorists do not escape justice because of mistakes or inadequate facilities, and also in a way that allows investigators and prosecutors to work together against these threats and to build cases so that they can be dealt with under the law as the Kenyan Constitution sets out. So it is our ambition in supporting this new centre that the ATPU has a new capability here on the coast to combat these threats and to work with communities across the coast to deal with violent extremism and terrorism and to keep the people of Kenya safe. We're very proud to support this new centre. We thank the DCI, the DPP and all of their teams for the work that they have done to get us to this point, and we all look forward to coming back here at the end of the year when the new centre is complete, to opening it and to seeing the great work, sir, that your team and the DPP's team will do here to keep the people of Kenya safe. Thank you very much.
Kwa Kiswahili alikuwa anajaribu nisizungumze, lakini kwanza nataka kumshukuru director Bwana Kinoti. Nataka kumshukuru Mheshimiwa Nick Haley ambaye ndio High Commissioner. Wajua, kwa hakika kwanza serikali ya Uingereza imetusaidia sana sisi kama Wakenya kwa mambo mengi, na sio mambo ya kujenga tu ama kupatiana vifaa, lakini pia wanatusaidia kwa upande wa kutuletea mambo kwa kizungu taita best practices. Na tunafanya mazoezi na wao, wanatufundisha mambo ambayo sisi kama Wakenya hatujajua, kwa ajili hili jambo la ugaidi ni kipya kwetu sisi. Wao wamekuwa na makarne ya mambo na uwezo na uzoefu wa kupambana na ugaidi. Kwa hivyo kuna mengi sisi tunapata kusoma na kujulia kutoka kwao, na tunawashukuru kwa hiyo. Nataka kumshukuru bwana DCI pia kwa mambo alivyoleta na namna alivyobadilisha mienendo na vile wao kama DCI wanavyofanya kwa mambo ya uchunguzi. Amehakikisha kwamba amewapatia maofisa wake uzoefu, training ya kutosha, kubuild capacity na kuweza kupata equipment, na kuweza pia kuwauliza hawa marafiki zetu kuweza kutusaidia kama kwa huu mjengo. Hii kwangu mimi kama mkuu wa mashtaka, ikiwa wanaofanya upelelezi wanapewa tuseme leo wajua kidogo Kiswahili imenitia chenga kupewa sio vifaa peke yake, vifaa uwezo kwetu sisi kama wanaosimamia mashtaka, itatusaidia kuweza kufanya ile kesi inavyostahili. Kwa hivyo hili ni jambo muhimu sana, na ikiwa wataweza kupata hizo vifaa na uwezo, kwa hakika kotini pia sisi tutaweza prosecute na kuwashtaki magaidi na kuweza kuwatia mbaroni, kama vile tulivyofanya jana kwa kesi ya Grant. Mnajua tumeweza baada ya muda mrefu kuweza kumleta na kumtia mbaroni kwa ajili ya kazi tumeweza kufanya pamoja na DCI na kuweza kucoordinate na ile inaitwa collaboration na coordination, ambapo ni jambo ambalo hawa wenzetu, ndugu zetu wa Uingereza, japokuwa walikuwa mabeberu mbeleni wanatusaidia nayo, sio? Na tunafurahi kwa hakika, na haimaanisha kwamba sisi tumetoa ule uhuru wetu. Kitu kingine ambayo najua ambayo tunafanya pamoja na DCI ni kuangalia haki, human rights, kuangalia kwamba mambo ya police excesses na other abuses iwe inaondolewa, ili tuweze kufanya kesi ambayo tunafuata sheria inavyofaa. Na haya ni mambo pia tunabadilishana pamoja na hawa ndugu zetu wenzetu wanatusaidia na baina yetu sisi kama taasisi mbalimbali. Kwa hivyo kwa hiyo ufupi nataka kuwashukuru sana.
Maybe a question from DCI. You have mentioned that the center will help in fighting the active terror cells that are in the coast. Currently, what are you doing as police officers in charge of dealing with these terrorists? Because the intelligence report shows that the cells are active in coast.
Thank you. You are absolutely right that the information about terrorism, and as you have just said rightly, there is nothing which stops. It's just a lot. That period is now when they are, putting up a dragnet for the next move. So, as actually you can see and you can bear witness, we have been in quite a number of times been ahead of them. We have disrupted so many. It's only that some we actually don't expose, or even we don't put it in the public. And what I can say, we receive information, and the important particular of this center is not that we don't have what is exactly happening. We have very active centers which are working at the headquarters, particularly in Nairobi. We have a very active and specialized anti-terrorist police unit, and other units which are created in terms of assisting anti-terrorist police unit. It does not actually work around as an agency. We just work within an agency of other government investigative units and other intelligent agencies within the government, and equally outside the country. We receive a lot of information from our partners from other countries, which we share together. And as I'm speaking with you today, all these things are ongoing. So that what I can say that this center, the importance of it is to assist to bring it a little bit nearer now. So that whatever information is correct, and again, I can say that maybe something which has not been said, it will be specialized in a way. The international standards, which we have borrowed from our partners from Britain, it is going to be equipped with the state-of-the-art kind of logistical tools that immediately receive a certain information. I've just said something little about like in Sri Lanka, whereby the information was there was information there, isn't it? How fast and effective was that information used in terms of disrupting, preventing, or deterring the risk before it happened? So that is exactly the purpose of this center.
Perhaps let me ask a question concerning the recent incident that we witnessed in Nairobi about the robbery of the ATMs belonging to Barclays Bank. How are you able to deal with such kind of issues to avert them in the future?
Well, that a little bit outside this, but thank you for the same question. About the Barclays Bank, I don't know whether to call it robbery or whatever, but let me be sincere and tell you the truth. Just look at the precision and exactly what was targeted. If we can be talking about a place where I suppose we have a CCTV camera, there is none, isn't it? And where there is one, somebody smears with some substance and all that, isn't it? If that camera is supposed to trigger an alarm elsewhere, and say, you can see even by the time when somebody is interfering, isn't it, with the camera, somebody must be, kind of watching what is happening because they have a purpose, isn't it? I may not discuss because it's a matter which is under investigation, and I can say we have arrested quite a number of people, and we are going to arrest more, and in due course we are going to be giving you the absolute, kind of scenario exactly what happened, so that for purposes of deterring the following day and for other institutions to run. So very soon the Director of Public Prosecution will be using a comprehensive statement because we are almost about to finish our case. We are about to hand over the case to him. So in fact for this one I'll be requesting the DPP so that to sensitize. In as much as we have always been saying some of these things, they are what we call constructive breaking, constructive robberies. That is the ones which are just done by their own people. They know exactly what is happening. But I can tell you, it's only the facilitators outside there. The whole thing, mostly it's happened within the know-how of the setup from the inside. The outsider is just facilitators and conduct to facilitate money, and then they go and share outside there.
Currently, how many suspects do you have in custody?
We have quite a number of suspects. I will not say exactly how many because we are using the same. Once we put some people in custody, the other 1, 2, 3 guys to get to the next and the next and the next. So please, because as I said, it's ongoing, we are going to read this one bare to the public. Yeah.
Maybe to the Commissioner, whenever there are threats in matter terrorism, we see slapping an advisory to Kenya, and here you are supporting it. Do you feel that Kenya still doesn't have the capacity to handle these issues?
I don't think we've been slapping advisories on Kenya at all. I don't think we've been slapping advisories. I wouldn't agree with the question. We do have a responsibility as a government, as many governments do, to keep our travel advice for every country around the world up to date. And if you look at our travel advice for Kenya, for France, Germany, for many other countries, it alerts people that there is a terrorist threat, just as there is in the United Kingdom. But people will then make their own choices about that threat. One issue, of course, in Kenya is the extent to which British people may be targeted by that threat. If there is a threat particularly against foreign tourists, then we will need to warn against that. But if you look at what we have done since the Dusit attack, we have not told people not to come to Kenya. In fact, we have described the threat to people, but made it very clear that they will make their own judgments about coming here as they do everywhere else. And we strongly support the tourist industry in Kenya. We strongly support a Kenya which is open to business. So we have a responsibility to warn, as we do for every country around the world. We have more than 200 travel advices for different countries and territories around the world. But we will never let the terrorists win by telling people not to come for the terrorist threat unless that is so specific and so critical that is absolutely necessary, and that has not been the case in Kenya.
In terms of radicalization, how
we are rushing to another meeting.
Yeah.
in terms of radicalization,
One last
how
one.
key is this center?
So this is an anti-terrorist police center, but in terms of radicalization, I want also to pay tribute to the national government and the county government of Mombasa for the county action plan against violent extremism, which the UK has also supported through a similar program, which has brought communities together, elders, women's groups, the county and national government, the police service, to discuss how everyone can work together to counter radicalization and to spot the risks of radicalization when they emerge and to deal with them. And we found in the UK the same challenges, that to deal with radicalization in communities you need everybody to work together, and you need communities themselves to look after their own security. So we'll be supporting, alongside this centre, we'll be supporting community security. In fact, our next stop is to go and see some of that work here in Mombasa in action. We'll be supporting communities to come together and look after themselves and build trust with the authorities so that we can all deal with the scourge of radicalization and terrorism. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
The cost of the project? What the cost of the project?
This project, 60 million shillings.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Should be ready by the end of the year. Thank you very much.
British High Commissioner Nick Haley, DCI boss George Kinoti, and the DPP Nordin Haji, they're just launching the new anti-terrorism police unit coastal headquarters in the coast, a movement to beef up security and the fight against terrorism. We want to take a short break here on KTN News Center, but when we come back, we'll be crossing over to our Joanne Letting, who is following up on the Huduma number registration, and there's some complaints. We'll be getting to know those complaints from that region. Also, it is World Malaria Day, the World Malaria Day, and this year's theme is Zero Malaria. Start with me, Kenya.